Look, man, even if your recording is absolute garbage, you can still get a clean vocal mix with my top 5 must-have Waves plugins. Let's check it out. Hey, man, I got good news and I got bad news. The bad news is that your recording sucks, man. For whatever reason, you done got vocals that got all kind of noise in it, the room sound, you got the kids playing in the background, you was recording with the window open, whatever reason you got, the recording sucks. And now you want to mix it because that passion was there, that energy was there, and you don't want to retake it for whatever reason. So I have found the 5 most powerful Waves plugins that's gonna help you to recover any bad recording. I mean, like, I done tried this on some really bad stuff and it really works. Now look, let's just go ahead and jump into this mix. Shout out to Flame for providing this recording for me. No, it wasn't this bad. I had to make it real bad in order for us to be able to see the power of these plugins. And yes, this is how some of y'all vocals be sounding when y'all send it to me to mix.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism, Ephesians 4 and 5? I know, apart from Christ I'm slime.
Okay, people talking in the background. I don't know where, if this was recorded in public, at a coffee shop, y'all was eating bagels on the side of the road. I don't know what was going on. It don't even matter though. I got these 5 Wave plugins and I'm gonna run them off to you right now. Look, I started off with the Clarity VX D-Verb, right? And then we had the Clarity VX. That's just gonna clean up the background noise and all of that. And then we got the Rvox, one of my favorite simple compressor limiter plugins, super simple. And then we got the CLA Vocals to add some effects on that bad boy. And then the Silk Vocal just to make sure that any resonance and all of that is cleaned up on the vocal. Let's take a listen real quick before I break down each one of these and just hear the difference.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism, Ephesians 4 and 5? I know. Apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just lying.
Okay, you hear what I'm talking about? Now, especially if I put that into the mix.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism, Ephesians 4 and 5?
So again, let me just solo this vocal.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs.
Terrible. It sounds like it's got reverb in there, it's background noise. This plugin right here is super magic, right? All you really do is turn this main knob, right? Now you can mess with the different neural network settings to get the sound that you want. For this one, even though it's rap, I chose the dialogue one because it sounded better to me, right? And then I also boosted the presence. Other than that, I just came right into the plugin and I turned the reduction all the way up. By just starting off at 100%, it's going to automatically reduce all of the reverb, right? So let's just hear how that sound.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time.
That's
was
before.
I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself
right,
or
that
not?
presence,
I believe in
that presence bring that vocal up a little bit for me. It brings it a little bit forward, right?
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business?
Right, and again, you can go through these different dialogues. Let's just see what they sound like, these different neural networks.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism, Ephesians 4 and 5? It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time.
All right, for now, let's just go with that singing one, all right? And then we got the presence turned up. Now, I do got this turned all the way to 100.
It's not by my moral conduct.
I'll probably back it off a little bit.
Runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not?
All right, now I feel like most of that reverb is pretty gone out of there. I just back it off to make it still feel a little bit natural so we're not like kind of choking the vocal. And then I go to the Clarity VX, and this is even simpler, right? Basically, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start off with the with the main big old knob, the reduction knob turned all the way to the right, and this is going to reduce all of that noise. In the default setting, again, they got these different neural networks. The broad 1 is like for spoken word, and the broad 2 is more for like, you know, musical. The eco, I think that's just going to like save some processing power, which I don't necessarily want to do that. So I chose the broad 2. Let's just listen to how it sounds once I start to turn up this reduction.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify?
So, and it's real apparent in this section.
4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just lying.
All right, so bypass.
It's 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin.
Sound like a TV on in the background or something. Like, what was going on, right? And I'm going to take that off.
It's 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime.
And it's not really choked a lot at all. I'm going to just back this off just a little bit because I'd be scared to go
4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just lying. Even not seeing creeds.
Let's hear that in the mix, see how we sounding.
It's 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime.
Already better.
You say you know sin, then you just lying.
Already better. Now, this other plugin, this is one of my favorites, man. Rvox, I use this all the time. It's got a really simple gate. All you got to do is set the gate, like the level, and this will help to cut out any other background noise that still might be creeping through.
It's 4 and 5.
Here's a little hack for the Rvox, man. So when you compress, a lot of times this Rvox will make your signal louder when you do the compression. I like to just make a little, if you click and drag over the compression control and the gain control, then when you compress, the gain will come down at the same time. This way you can actually hear the difference that the compression is making instead of just hearing the loudness, man. So let me actually listen to that real quick. I'm gonna just set my gate somewhere.
It's 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just.
Let me link these back. Boop, boop. All right, here we go.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe
I bet. And I actually want to have some of the game, so I'm going to let it go now. But I wanted to hear what it's doing first before I'm just making decisions based on loudness.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5.
All right, and then this is where we get funky. So I got the CLA vocals, and then let's just go to factory default. The CLA vocal is dope because it's like an all-in-one vocal mixing plugin. You got a little EQ where you can affect the bass and treble, and then you got even controls on how you want to deal with that. You got compression built in here, reverb, delay, and like some stereo widening, pitch shifting effects. Right off the bat, the default setting actually is pretty dope. So as soon as I put it on there, you're going to hear this vocal get kind of bigger.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness?
Now I'm gonna play with some of these settings, like bring the reverb down.
All by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4.
Maybe instead of that slap delay, let's just go with an 8th note delay.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just lying. Even not seeing creed said, water word is how we get. Many mortals got beheaded. Believe the Lord, you won't regret it. It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5. I know, apart from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin, then you just lying. Even not seeing creed said, water word is how we get. Many mortals got beheaded. Believe the Lord, you won't regret it. It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out.
All right, I'm liking how that sounded. Let's just bypass and hear it.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5.
That's pretty lit, right? And then the last step is to literally like just clean up any resonances. Now, I'm using the silk vocal here. This just gonna make sure that any harsh resonant frequencies are attenuated, right? It's really simple to use. You got the low frequencies, the mid frequencies, and the high frequencies. You can simply just turn up the knob based on how much attenuation you want in each band. You turn it and do it to taste. Here's what I thought sounded good earlier. I might make some adjustments since we made some changes. Let's hear it.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians.
It really opens up that vocal even more. It makes it sound very silky, polished, and professional.
It's not by my moral conduct when
you hit the little speaker so you can hear what's being taken out. Or if you hit this little delta button up here, then you can hear everything that's being taken out. So let me just mute the beat a little bit.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life
so you hear that?
Time. Was I standing on my business?
Anything that's not pleasing or pleasant is getting reduced.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine?
And imagine we got there and we started here.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his
like this is literally where we started and then this is where we at.
It's not by my moral conduct runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5. It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5. It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5.
Look, these 5 plugins can really help to bring your vocals back from the dead, man. They can bring them back from the garbage and recycle them all over again, man. Let me know what y'all think about these 5 plugins that I think are some of the most powerful that Waves has for vocal mixing, vocal recovery, saving your vocal, enhancing it, man. My top 5 vocal mixing plugins right here from Waves, all right? Maybe you got a different top 5. Are you already using some of these? You know I want to know in the comments. Drop a comment down in the comment section. And you can actually cop all of these from wavyproaudio.com. I'll leave links in the description so that you can shop with your boy if you rock with your boy. Y'all be dope.